Pokemon MOBA, new Avengers game details, brand new games, and your daily gaming news recap. All that and more coming right up. Welcome back to Sodi Pop on YouTube. Today is Wednesday, June 24th. I'm Matty. This is Chatty with Matty, your source for the daily gaming news recap. I have my drink. Let's chat. All right, we're going to start off here with Summer Game Fest. Of course, scrolling on down, we have the Crash 4 announcement, and then today we have the Avengers War Table, which describes some more gameplay. We'll go into that in just a moment. But tomorrow we have the Night City Wire, which will be Cyberpunk 2077. We're supposed to see some new gameplay, a new trailer, and then just some more stuff about Cyberpunk 2077. That game cannot come soon enough. Again, that was delayed from September into November. So keep an eye on that tomorrow, and then Bit Summit coming on June 27th. So we have Avengers, new gameplay here. Of course, we have Thor flying around with the Hulk. Now, we got to see a little bit more and you really understand what this game is. So it seems to be almost a Destiny-like game where it's a consistent world. Everything you buy will be on the game disc, and they also said in the beginning that there's in-store purchases, which seem to be mostly cosmetic as of right now. They even showed the game store where you go into your base and you're actually rebuilding a base once it's been destroyed. You start off with Kamala Khan, which is Ms. Marvel. Now she slowly recruits into the Avengers. You can of course see Thor, Black Widow. We also see Iron Man later, and then of course you just saw the Hulk. Those will be the starting characters. They promise to actually give free updates to expand the world and free updates to expand the character roster. So just a few things about this. Is going to be releasing September 2nd, 2020. There'll be in-game purchases. You're battling against MODOK, so one of the classic Avengers villains. It's going to be single player and multiplayer. Again, there will be hero missions, which will be the single player missions, always story based, and then even the multiplayer missions will be around the story as well. You're going to be building out your base after it's been somewhat destroyed, and then adding a lot of new stuff onto it. Additions are no extra cost. Looks very Destiny-like. The stores and upgrades, the way you even purchase stuff is very much similar to Destiny. And then you actually have 4-person story missions. So you can either have 4 people come with you, or you can have yourself and then 4 CPU characters come with you. Now, if everyone wants to play Iron Man, that apparently isn't possible. Everyone will have to pick their own Avenger to play as, and then the way the upgrades work, your Thor will be different from your friend's Thor. So you can pick upgrade paths and choose what kind of Marvel superhero you would like to be. So it sounds more interesting than I initially thought. I don't know. I'm usually a single player game person, so I'm not sure if this would particularly interest me. And there's still, as you see the gameplay here, there's still just kind of like some weirdness to it. It feels like there's just kind of something missing. I think for me it's like the destruction of the environments. You have Thor and Hulk and all these guys like smashing down. It just doesn't look super interesting from the gameplay quite yet to me. Of course, we'll see how it feels when it comes out, but interesting. Keep an eye on it. There's lots of new information, and again, it's going to be releasing September 2nd, and according to a few news stories from the previous this week, you will get a free upgrade from the previous gen to the next gen. So if you have PS4, it will get a free upgrade to the PS5. If you have a Xbox One X, it'll get a free upgrade to the Xbox Series X when that all releases. So pretty cool, pretty awesome, and consumer friendly. And then you can see the war table. You get to pick the missions. Again, very Destiny-esque, and they have a difficulty level there. So it seems really interesting. You can deck out your character. Yeah, so go ahead and check that out. Also, going into Nintendo news here. So we have a version 8.0.0 will be coming out for Smash Ultimate, so make sure you save your replay data if that is of interest to you. Convert to video before updating. That has happened several times where your replay data will be lost when the new Smash Brothers update comes out. Also, we have Ninjala coming out for free on Nintendo Switch. So Ninjala is a free-to-play game. Looked actually really amazing. Looked very similar to Splatoon as far as the overall art style I'm definitely going to be checking this out. So coming from this GameSpot article, Ninjala, free-to-play melee action game from Let It Die developer Gung Ho Online, is now exclusively on Nintendo Switch. You can find it on the eShop, but servers will go live later today. That is today, Wednesday. Also, Ninjala is primarily a multiplayer-focused action game with a style that should make Splatoon players feel welcome. It features 2 modes, 4v4 PvP matches, and free-for-all 8-player battle royale. You will unlock new gear and weapons in-game, season progress, as well as shinobi cards to reward you with passive buffs. You also won't require Nintendo Online to play other players. That's pretty awesome. It won't require Nintendo Online. Also, along with multiplayer, Ninjala will feature the evolving single-player campaign. The story is told through comic book panels and accompanied by anime series online that will flesh out some characters more over time. The campaign will also feature various types of campaign missions, including stealth-focused ones and large boss fights. Additional story missions will also be part of the seasonal content and added over time. That sounds awesome. It's a free-to-play game. It looks actually really good if you see some of the gameplay, so go ahead and check that out. Download it today. Servers go live probably now as you're watching this. Pokemon had a Pokemon Presents today, and man, number 1, did not see this coming. Number 2, it's a Pokemon MOBA, so you think League of Legends. Did they miss the bus by like 5 years? I don't know. It looks super okay. Nothing too special. I love Pokemon. I love just the style of Pokemon. Of course, I wish they put this effort into evolving the graphics and making it a bigger world, and just evolving. Pokemon needs an evolution other than just all these little separate games like Pokemon Dungeon and stuff. It's a classic MOBA. You have 2 sides, you have 3 different lanes. The point is to actually catch Pokemon in between the lanes and then take them back to your base and get points. The most points at the end of the round wins. You get to choose your Pokemon. So let's say you pick Charmander here. Throughout the game, Charmander will increase their experience points and will evolve into Charmeleon and Charizard, and then you'll actually get the different moves. Because of that, you get different passive moves and buffs. Again, it's a MOBA. I mean, if you've ever played a MOBA, this is straight up MOBA. I will be checking it out. They are developing this in conjunction with the Chinese company Tencent. Tencent has their fingers kind of in all these different pies now, which again is a little bit scary that they're like spreading out so wide in the gaming arena. But go ahead and check this out. Let me know down below if you're interested. Did I miss something? I mean, this does not seem like super exciting news from Pokemon. They teased this in the last Pokemon Presents last week, and then this is just like, I don't know. I don't know if you should be excited about this. So it's called Pokemon Unite. It's going to be coming out on the Switch and phones as well, and then it will allow cross-play as well. So go ahead and check that out. And if you haven't already, please like, follow, subscribe, comment down below. Again, it really helps. I mean, we're 2 away from 100 subscribers. And then just the more that happens, the more I'm able to provide some amazing content to you. I've gone Monday, Wednesday, Friday for this show in particular, because I think it works out a little bit better as far as getting the information to you. And also, I'm able to be a little bit more creative because I have a whole bunch of other things I want to be working on to get more stuff to you, be a little bit more active on the other platforms such as Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram. So please also share with your friends. Moving on, a game I am very, very excited for. Of course, we have Bloodstained. Just announced yesterday, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. If you're not familiar, the original Bloodstained Curse of the Moon was a Kickstarter backer pledge. So what happened is that they reached a certain level and they're like, hey, we're gonna make this supplemental game. And it's called Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. Kind of deals with some extra stuff outside of the main game of Bloodstained, and it's more in the NES style of like a Metroidvania. So it looks amazing. This second one adds a bunch of characters, looks like it adds a bunch of moves, still similar art style, but looks like really fun to control. If you've played Bloodstained, the game, or the first Curse of the Moon, it's really, really good. So they've added, let's see, I think 5 characters. Zangetsu, Dominique is like spellcaster, Robert, who's a soldier, he actually uses guns, you get to see him, and then they also have Hachi, which is like a mecha tank, which looks fantastic. So 4 characters. and you can switch between them just like the first one. You switch between them on the fly, and they have all different sorts of moves. It looks fantastic. Super excited for this, so go ahead and check it out. If you haven't yet, check out Bloodstained, and then the first Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is like $5 on every platform. This Curse of the Moon 2, as I said, will be coming out on every single platform. Also, we have a little update from Sean Layden. He's the former PlayStation executive, talking about AAA game development. So we have talked about this before. I've heard about this on many different podcasts of AAA game development is going to change. Number one, are we going to see the games increase in price? Because it's been $60 for a long time, and then we've been seeing developers using different methods to extract more money out of the customers to be able to maintain development costs and such like that. So will it be $70, $80 for these next generation games? Right here, just coming from Sean Layden talking to Dean Takeshi, GamesBeat reporter, he revealed his thoughts about the AAA, and I thought these were some of the more important things that were important to talk about just with the industry in general. So he says, instead of spending 5 years making an 80-hour game, what do 3 years and a 15-hour game look like? Layden continued, AAA game development won't be less expensive than the current generation of game development. 4K, HDR art, and creating worlds don't come cheap. Personally, as an older gamer, I would welcome a return to the 12 to 15-hour AAA game, would finish more games, first of all, and just like a well-edited piece of literature or movie, looking at the discipline around that could give us together more compelling content. Now, some of the stuff that he says here, I mean, he's talking about an 80-hour game. Those are like epic RPGs that are that type of length. Now you can get that out of like a Destiny 2. Obviously, it's a multiplayer game, continuously updating games as platform. You look at GTA 5, of course, you can play that kind of endlessly. But if you look at a lot of games, I'm sure The Last of Us Part 2, that was actually seemed a bit longer, around the 20-hour range, I've heard. And then The Last of Us Part 1 was, right in that 15 to maybe 20-hour range if you walked around a bunch. But there are a lot of AAA games that are in that range. Now, I think what comes to mind is something like a shorter game that's AAA. You had Resident Evil Remake, the third one. So Resident Evil 3 was super short as far as people said. They changed some things, upgraded graphics. People are happy with it overall, but they're like, man, I just paid $60 for like a 6-hour, 8-hour game. Like super short for that much money. So I do agree, as someone who does have limited time, it is hard to go in like a Final Fantasy VII remake or something that is an RPG, a pure RPG for the most part, that is going to be 60 to 70 hours. I've been wanting to play Persona 5 Royale, and I know that's going to be like a 100-hour game. That's crazy. My first gaming review was actually, I never showed it on this channel, but it's actually Dragon Age Inquisition. I put like 120 hours in that game. It took forever to review. I loved it. It was a lot of fun, but I mean, to be able to commit to that. Now, that's a great value for the customer buying individual games. I don't know. Do you agree with him? Obviously, we're going to see certain costs go down with something like the Unreal Engine 5. They talk about the lighting and all the engine in that. Developers don't have to spend time and money in these different lighting, particle effects, and mapping and blah, blah, blah. But with 4K textures and increased music composition, all this stuff, it's kind of going to even out. It'll probably be like, yeah, some things are easier and cost less, but then we're going to have 4K, 8K eventually. All these things are just going to even out and become more expensive. So curious to see what you think down below. There's no one answer. Different developers are going to handle this differently. And I'm definitely not against that 15 to 20-hour game. I think that's such a great length for a AAA first player game. And we're already seeing that now. So I'm not sure what he means by that. Maybe he meant 8 to 10 hours. Maybe that's what he meant. But anyways, let me know what you think below. Really interesting conversation. Assassin's Creed Valhalla creative director steps down amid infidelity allegations. So this is Ashraf Ismail. We've talked about him recently because Assassin's Creed Valhalla is an upcoming game, one of their big ones. He says, quote, "I'm stepping down from my beloved project to properly deal with personal issues in my life. The lives of my family and my own are shattered. I'm deeply sorry for everyone hurt in this." Scroll down a little bit more. What is this about? Well, we talked about infidelity. Ismail was accused of courting women while married. According to a Twitter thread, Ismail cheated on his wife and lied about the relationship to women he engaged with. Yeah, don't cheat on your significant other. In particular, don't cheat on someone you are married to. So don't do that. Very bad. Ruin your career, apparently, especially in video games. Well, we'll see what comes of it. Twitter, we're going to move on to Xbox pretty much now. So Phil Spencer on Twitter, if you don't remember Mixer shut down. That was Microsoft's answer to Twitch. You know, they courted Shroud, they courted Ninja, put them on the platform. Apparently that wasn't enough for Microsoft. They didn't view it as a success in order to keep it going. So what they did is they partnered with Facebook Gaming, and they said, hey, anyone who is a Mixer partner, you're automatically going to be a partner on Facebook Gaming. And I mean, all the mid-level creators, I kind of getting screwed in this. If I was on Mixer and I had built an audience, I mean, now you have to say, hey guys, can you follow me back on Twitch? Can you follow me back on Facebook? It's not going to be immediate. And a lot of people just don't like those platforms. They haven't downloaded the app. YouTube Gaming maybe doesn't have the same features. So really sucks. But a lot of people were worried that Mixer was integrated with Xbox One X. It was integrated quite heavily. And now is that going to be taken the place by Facebook Gaming? You can hear Phil Spencer said, yes, we will absolutely want to give gamers choice of where to stream from Xbox. So this, and then there are other confirmations by Major Nelson that said, no, you will have a choice of what streaming service you want to use. Of course, you can use Twitch. You can always hook Xbox up to a PC and use OBS to stream different content. So don't worry about that. That's good news that you can stream different content. Still, is bad that I guess Mixer shut down in general. More options are always better. Earlier today, we had Halo Infinite got another teaser trailer. You can hear a rough horse voice here talking about coming back. Now, this is a teaser. It sounds like the brutes are coming back. I think they're introducing Halo 2 or 3 as a race, and they are huge hulking guys. They sound like it, brutes, and they were not seen since I believe it was Halo Reach. So it sounds really cool. The brutes were a really awesome and formidable enemy. You know, they handled hammers and stuff. So that sounds really cool. I hope Halo Infinite is returning to some of the old Halo glories of the previous games, or at least the first trilogy, ODST, all that great stuff. Reach was a great game as well. So go ahead and check out the Halo teaser trailer. I mean, it's just a little snippet. Definitely teasing the brutes, in my opinion. More on Xbox. So this again is Phil Spencer. Xbox boss feels Series X has a launch games and hardware advantage over PS5. So this is coming from VGC. Really interesting. Of course, he's going to say that. I mean, he's the boss here. So, but really interesting. So let's go ahead and check this out. During the Game Lab live conference on Wednesday, Spencer was asked his reaction to the PS5 reveal event, where Sony debuted next-gen software and unveiled the console's design. So a little bit lower here. So, quote, as a competitor, it's great to have them out there, so we kind of know what the program is. We see the device, we see the games. Just being honest, it felt good after seeing their show. I think the hardware advantages that we have built are going to show up, and we're going to be talking more about our games and frame rates and other things. I thought the game lineup we're going to have at launch, I felt really good about it, and we got more clarity on what they're doing and at their show, and just helped us focus in on more of what we have, and I think it will be a strength for us at launch. So I thought they did a good job. I thought they did what they had to do very well, and they did that. But when I think about position that we're in with the games that we're going to be able to show and how they're going to show up and the hardware advantage that we have, I think we're in a very good position. A little bit lower here, he also says, so I feel good about July and the gameplay, and we're going to be showing there a hardware capability, he said. Teams are working hard to get it lined up. We've taken feedback from our last event, and I think people are really going to be pleased with what we're going to be showing there. Halo Infinite will be a big part of it, and I think that obviously is an important title for us. Still sounds awesome. I'm loving this back and forth between Sony and Microsoft, little tit for tat. You have two big powerful machines that should hopefully be coming at good prices. It was rumored that the Series X was going to be priced at $400. I didn't even go into a story about that rumor because that sounds so ridiculous to me. $400 for the Series X. They could hit that target. That'd be amazing. I mean, that would put pressure on PlayStation. Absolutely. So it sounds like he's pretty happy with the lineup they have. Again, he said Halo Infinite will be a big part of that. We've known about Halo Infinite forever. I think some of these reveals, it's almost more important to have these bigger games. So what are you bringing in that's going to be a complete surprise? What are you bringing in that looks insane, that has like ray tracing all over? And don't let it be Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft is great, but ray tracing in Minecraft is a neat feature, but definitely that's not a graphical power horse. So what do you have that we don't know about? You know, a lot of the PlayStation 5 critics were saying like, oh, a lot of this stuff was already leaked. Yeah, Gran Turismo and all that stuff. Also, remember, PlayStation 5 says they have a ton of stuff that is not released yet or that hasn't been shown yet. Silent Hills was something that's been heavily rumored, so that would be really cool to make an appearance a little bit later. So there's going to be a back and forth. There's going to be a battle. It sounds awesome. I mean, this is only better for the consumer that we're seeing this. And the other speculation is, you know, remember that Xbox stuff is still coming on the PC. That's always been my kind of hard thing to get around, is that I'm going to be playing stuff on the PC, and my question is, should I upgrade my PC, the graphics card, the SSD? Should I upgrade that or get a Series X or the apparently cheaper version, Series S? Or do I want exclusives and going to get a PlayStation 5 or get both? You know, we'll see. But anyways, sounds amazing. Very, very excited for it. What do you think? What do you think Xbox is going to be showing? Are you excited for Halo Infinite? Are you going to wait to see the reviews for Halo Infinite because of the last few Halo games, or are you just completely sold because the brutes seem to now be back in it? All right, guys. Well, that does it for Chatty with Matty on this Wednesday. Of course, my name is Matty. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have the daily gaming news recap, and then Friday is, of course, the weekly gaming news recap. Don't forget to follow me on the 3Ts and IG, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram at SodiPopMedia. Very active on Twitter in particular if you want to chat. And then, of course, have a wonderful day. Remember,
be yourself
and eat a cookie. Bye.